Hey, Dave Griffiths here from runlikeadrain.com. I've got a new computer. I don't know if it's going to make this better or worse, this video, we'll see. But I've got the webcam is on this new computer up there rather than sort of down there. And I'm using the mic off the computer itself, so rather than I used to use headphones a lot. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. But as you can see, I'm in the engine room, which is where I do most of my work and all of my trading. So, quick blog update, and the reason for this one is I don't use Facebook a great deal, and I used to. When I first started trading, I used to put things on Facebook now and again, which my poker friends and family would see, but trying to explain to people who don't even understand horse racing what Betfair Trading is in running horse races is pretty difficult. So I just stopped putting stuff up there. But anyway, when I logged in at the beginning of January to Facebook, I'd not logged on for a while, and it popped up one of those memory things, said, do you want to, repost this memory from that you did on Facebook from 3 years ago? And what it was a photograph I proudly put up saying, this is the best day I've had in December, which was December 2019, so 3 years ago, which is before I joined Back for Profit. So I was trading the way I used to. I hadn't joined Back for Profit at that time, and I was just doing things the way I used to do them at that time. So I looked at the picture, I thought, bloody hell, Jesus Christ, look at the difference between that and how I trade now. It's like so stark that it really surprised me, actually, because obviously I do the blog now and again, but I don't very often look way back and sort of start reading some of the really old posts from a long time ago. So I went back to the December 19 blog post and read through it, and then but as I say, it was this image that triggered it off. So I'm going to show you the image. This is my best day. In fact, I've got the Excel spreadsheet ready to show you. This is December 2019, and you can see I had some pretty horrendous days, but some sort of smaller reds mixed in. But anyway, my best day of the whole month was the last day, funny enough, when I won £61.09. So I proudly put that up. Where's it gone? It's not that one. There we go, that's the picture. So that was the one, the screenshot that I put up on Facebook, and that was what Facebook reminded me about it this year, just over 3 years later. So I thought, blimey, look at this. And what struck me is not the money. I'll be quite happy to win £61, today, because I don't use very big stakes really. But what the difference is the fact that I was in those days trading literally 19, 20 races a day. Some days more, some days I'd do 30. I'd do 30 trades if I was losing lots. I'd be chasing and chasing and chasing. One day I remember starting off at lunchtime like this. I mean, look at this here, look, 12, 15, 12, 25. Literally every race, no break, just go, 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 every race. The only time I'd have a break is if I had a phone call or somebody came and knocked the door, bloody delivery guy or something, I don't know. I just trade race after race. And of course, the problem with that is that when you feel that you have to trade every race and you get into that habit, there may have been some of these trades which were good, safe, easy trades, but I can guarantee you there would have been some in there where I did a trade just because I felt I'd got to. So you sort of go looking for trades. And the problem with that is when you're just clicking and hoping, you get what Andrew calls an 80-20 trade, where you might be right 80 times out of 100, but 20 times out of 100 you're going to be wrong and you're going to get a big red over it. So obviously the way it works with liability and the way it works when you're laying horses on bigger stakes, if you get one wrong, it's very, very, very painful. Most of the people that come to me and contact me through the blog who are losing say to me, look, I do okay, I win 15, 20, 30 races in a row, small amounts, and then I do an horrendously bad trade, it all goes completely tits up, and I lose all the money that I've won over the last 20, 30. That sends them on like crazy monkey tilt, and they go completely bonkers. the next day trying to chase what they've lost the day before, and before you know it, in 3 days' time, you've completely skint your bank out and you're back to, square one again and reloading Betfair. So it's that terrible mindset, and this was my best day of the month, and I can see this by looking at this that you're just trading too much. So when I first decided, a couple of people who I knew were in back for profit, I'd met them, through trading previously, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're in back for profit now. It's really good, and we like it." And da da da. So I arranged to have a phone call with Andrew and had a chat with him, the guy who runs it. And I said, or he said to me, "What are you doing now?" And I said, "Well, what I'm trying to do, unsuccessfully, is I'm trying to trade 20 races a day, win a fiver a race to win 100 quid. Or, in Dreamland, I'd be doing 20 races a day for a tenner to win 200 quid. And I'd, think that'd be great." And he said, "Oh, no, we don't do that at back for profit. That's completely the opposite to what we're looking to do." And I said, "Well, what are you trying to do?" He said, "Well, we might watch the 20 races, but we'll watch the 20 races and we'll only pick out one or two of them that were really, really easy, safe, obvious trades. And instead of trying to win a fiver on 20 races, we'll get that one really good one and we'll try and win £100 off it on that one trade, and then we'll just switch off and leave it. Or maybe do two for 50, depending on what sort of stakes you want to use." I think Andrew's average win, I've seen his profit and loss, his average win is about £660. So he's in a whole different ball game to everybody else, quite frankly. But there's an awful lot of people in the group who do win, £100, £200 a race, the really good ones, and that's what they do. And I thought, that sounds, can't be that easy, surely. And it took a long time for me to get into the swing of back for profit, and it's the overtrading that's the hardest thing to do. It's trying to unlearn what I've been doing previously was very, very difficult, and every new member that joins back for profit, I think, struggles with the same thing. They want to trade more than they should. They used to trade in many, many races, so they find it very difficult to take their hand off the mouse. It's so difficult. And if they're not sure, if the horses they're watching, thinking about, well, can I lay this one, can I lay that one, and they're watching them and they're all a bit close, they'll just make a decision because they think they've got to trade something, rather than thinking, well, it's all a bit close, so I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to wait till the next race because the next one might be really, really easy. So the way I trade now, I think I've showed you by mistake almost. Let me get it. Yeah, there's one. This is the one that came up. I think I saw that image on about, I don't know, 2nd, 3rd of January when I logged on. Then on the 5th of January I did this, and it was like 60 quid for 2 trades. And I thought to myself, bloody hell, remember that picture I saw, and it was like 20 trades to do 60, and I've done it in 2. And that just sort of made me realise how much I changed the way I trade thanks to joining back for profit. Is that I'm very, very selective. I'm no better, well, maybe marginally better at race reading than I was 3 years ago, but you don't need to be good at race reading if you're extremely good at discipline, because you'll just wait for the easy, obvious ones. That's all you need to do. My best day, if I can whiz this forward now, I'm going to have to move this across because lift that up a bit. Oh, there it is. My best day this month, it's now February, so my best day last month for January, I did a decent month, and my best day of the whole month was on the 30th, where I did 104 quid. So let's bring that one up. That's that one. So £104, 2 trades, thank you very much. Switch behind you off, done, dusted. 2 really easy, safe trades, and job was done. As it happened, they did happen to be the first 2 races of the day, but that was just very, very fortunate. More often than not, I'll watch. I never trade for more than 2 hours, and probably really nowadays I'll limit it to 1 because of work commitments. So I'll pick the best hour that I think is going to give me some opportunities. I'll trade for that 1 hour, and if I don't get a trade, I don't get a trade. But it might mean that I do a trade, watch the next 5 races, nothing, trade the 6th race, and that's me finished. As I say, I was just a bit fortunate there that the first 2 happened to be good ones. I think the other one was as well on the 5th. It's really nice. Sometimes it doesn't happen all the time, but occasionally you'll switch on, do the first race, and it's a nice green. You can just switch off. At my age, 63, I don't want to work too hard. I've got a job to do as well as do this. Quite a few of the members in the group, the Pensioner Brigade, of which I'm proudly a member, they're more than happy to do 1 or 2 quick trades, switch Bet Angel off and go and have a nap in the afternoon. That's what they do, a nana nap. But I'm quite happy to do that. It's just, as I say, it's just being disciplined and focused, concentrate for an hour, and that's it. But because I've won 100 quid, I just switch off. People say to me, why don't you do more? Why don't you do more races then? Why don't you continue the full hour? If I started at, I don't know, let's say I switched Bet Angel on at 12:30, why don't I watch the 1:30 race or whatever the next one was? But that's where you go wrong. I've done it myself in the past when I used to do those days where I'd do, 15, 20 trades, 30 trades. And even on a really good day, you'd be going along and you'd be thinking, oh, look how much I'm winning. If I just do a few more, I'll get to X amount. And of course, then what happens? You have a red and it just sends your brain scrambled. It's just crazy. So I'm really happy with the way it's going. I just wanted to share with you the fact that 3 years later, my mindset has just changed so much that I'm very selective. If you want to trade every single race after race after race after race, and that's what you want to do, then don't join Back for Profit. That would be my advice. If you want to watch 20 races and only trade 1 or 2 really good ones and make good money, then I'd say, yeah, give it a go. But you've got to have the discipline and the mindset to do that. I had 2 red days this month, and I've sort of come to the conclusion that I'm always going to have a red day, and that's really, I think in a way that's because I'm trading better. I know that might sound crazy, but when new members join Back for Profit, they learn what we do, they watch all the training videos, they have a go in practice mode. Andrew always suggests everybody has a go in practice mode to start with, then start with really low stakes, and away you go. So what tends to happen is, if there's like a really easy, obvious one that fits our criteria, then the chances are that if there's 10 members of the group happen to be trading at that time when that race is happening, and it's really obvious and it's clearly a Back for Profit type trade, then probably out of the 10 of us, 7 or 8 of us are gonna see it that way, and they're gonna lay that horse. Now, what tends to happen sometimes with the newer members is they hesitate a little bit because they're not entirely sure. So that 1-2 second delay of them thinking, shall or shan't I? Is it really, a trade? That little tiny delay might mean the difference between laying it at, 2.35 or laying it at, 4.35. And that, obviously, when you're using a liability rather than a fixed stake, that makes a big difference to how much you're going to win. So that tends to happen with the new ones. They'll get better and they'll start to be more decisive. And that only comes when you've been green month after month after month. You start to get more confidence. And I think where I am now, the reason I'm getting these reds now is because I'm so confident that I sometimes fall foul of overdoing it. And what I look at a race sometimes and think, this isn't a trade now because it hasn't happened what I think's going to happen, but I enter preemptively because I think something might happen. And very often I get it right, and that means I get a better price and I win more money for a relatively low liability. But occasionally, of course, I get it wrong, and you enter, and what you think's going to happen doesn't happen, so you end up either scratching it or leaving it just that little bit too long to see if you're going to turn out to be proven right. And that's really where the reds come from, to be honest. So I just guess I'm always going to have them. I'm certainly capable of going through the entire month without having a red. I know I am, but it seems unlikely to me because of the way I'm trading. But I'm still happy with the way I'm trading. And the other most important thing is that when I have a red, that one there, £17.18, that was the first trade I did on the day. Got a red, switched off BetAngel, because the worst thing you can do, believe me, is to carry on trading when you've had a red. If you look back, I promise you, if you're a losing trader, I absolutely promise you, if you go back through BetAngel, through Betfair, and look at all of your results on any day when you've had a red day, I guarantee you'd be better off by a lot if you switched your computer off after the very first red, because it's not that. Most people, or I certainly would have done it 3-4 years ago, I'd have got 17-18 red on the first race, then try to chase it back on the next race, and we all know where that's going to end up. It's just a disaster. You just have to be disciplined, and it's so difficult, and I appreciate it's difficult. It's a bit like being an alcoholic in a pub. You have to sit there not having a drink, watching everybody else getting drunk, trading every single race and getting involved, and you have to just sit and wait patiently for a good, safe trade. It takes a lot of hard work, but fortunately for me, 3 years down the line, it's sort of sunk in a bit now. So I just tend to do it almost without thinking now, but I still have to. The hardest part is, I find it very easy now, by the way, when I've had a good win, I find it very, 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 very easy to turn BetAngel off after one good trade or two good trades. Some of these ones here where I've done 1978 or whatever, I might only have done one trade and switched off without looking. I can't check out. I haven't got BetAngel open. No, I haven't. But with a lot of these ones, I'll do just one trade and switch off, and I find it very easy to do that. What is still difficult, and it is still the hardest thing to do, is when you've had a red, switch off after you've had a red. That's the hardest thing of all, and it's still difficult for me now. But I know that by switching off, I'm going to be better off in the long run. So anyway, decent month, quite happy with how it went. And call it 712 quid. Worked it out somewhere. What have I got? Yeah, average. I did 20 days. I traded one of them, which was that one, where I did watch 6 or 8 races and didn't get a trade at all because nothing matched my criteria. But that happens from time to time. That's fine. So I traded for 20 days for an average win of £35.60, and most importantly, I traded just over, I think it's something like 2.1 trades per day. So I'm really pleased with that. So I'm quite happy with that. So that's it. I hope you found that useful. From my own point of view, I was just pleased to see how I've changed over 3 years. It was a real shock when I saw this come up in my feed, and it just made me, well, I wouldn't say nostalgic for the old days because it was bloody awful. I used to absolutely do my brains trying to learn how to trade in run, and it was so expensive. But luckily, I've managed to get my head screwed on right. Okay, hope you've enjoyed that. Speak to you soon. Thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to check out my blog. It's runlikeadrain.com. Speak soon.